CM Punk joined the Bloodline, WarGames this weekend, and Roman Reigns called Paul Heyman shady.
Paul's been incredibly shady, if you don't ask me.
Take 1 week off from talking about a bloodline and everything just happens at once. Obviously in a different location right now. We're based back in DC. Thanksgiving weekend, you feel. Today probably is Thanksgiving when this is going up. So happy Thanksgiving to you, your family, your friends, whoever you're spending it with. Or if you're just sitting at home binging Netflix, that's okay too. Let's talk about what's going to happen at Survivor Series this weekend. We got WarGames, new Bloodline with Bronson Reed taking on OG Bloodline with CM Punk. On SmackDown, Paul Heyman returned to WWE, bringing out the fifth man to join Team OG Bloodline, and that was CM Punk. There's people online chatting about it should have been Brock Lesnar. I fully understand where they're coming from, but also like there's like this bigger thing going on. I'll pass. Roman has a lot of history with Brock, but also there's a lot of deep history with CM Punk. Maybe they might even talk about it on SmackDown, who knows? It seemed like they had some real life problems back in the day. With that infamous Art of Wrestling podcast CM Punk was on, where he didn't necessarily insult Roman, but he just kept saying how the company wanted him to put over Roman Reigns. And between the lines of what he's saying, you could come off like he didn't think Roman deserved the position that he had, or maybe he just didn't like him as a human being. There's a lot of ways you could have read into that. And it seemed like Roman didn't take too kindly to it as well when he did an interview and he said this.
CM Punk, for instance, you know what I mean? Like someone who really hits home with our home audience, our hardcore fans. Like someone, if you've watched wrestling for the past 10 to 15 years and you love it and it's like within your blood, then you probably have some kind of feelings about that guy. I know I do. You know, just by doing one of these things, he made my job a lot harder, 5-10 years ago. But if it's something that the fans can get behind and that it can really make them, sink their teeth into the product and really, dive into the creative with us, I'm willing to do it. I don't like the guy. I don't know many people that do.
Now, this is also many years ago, right? And there's lots of reports of CM Punk being backstage, having no problems with anyone, squashing all kinds of beef. I didn't realize how many problems he had with so many people. I didn't realize him and Sami Zayn also had an issue back in the day, but that squashed as well. Bro was a menace back in the day. Everyone hated him. How does everyone hate you? But it's great to see that he's put a lot of stuff aside with a lot of people and they've all come together and just moved on from it like grown adults. But the shot of CM Punk joined the Bloodline, I just wanted Punk to throw up the ones. I knew he probably wouldn't. He did the go to sleep thing. But there's so many elements to this stuff because there's also that shot of Sami Zayn when it looks like he's throwing his phone away. Did he make a call to someone? Is he going to turn on Roman Reigns and the OG Bloodline? Paul Heyman also came out in an outfit very similar to what Solo wears. The whole weekend vibe. Does that mean he's going to turn on Roman? Who knows? And I'm here to speculate and talk about it. I think someone on that OG Bloodline team does turn on Roman Reigns. Now, I don't think it's going to be Paul Heyman because he's with CM Punk. Now, I don't think CM Punk is in the state of actually turning heel because if Heyman turns heel, that involves Punk. That means Punk's a heel, and I don't think that's where they're going to go with this. I do think it's going to be Sami Zayn. I do think Sami Zayn is going to turn on the OG Bloodline and join Solo and actually officially join his new bloodline going forward. And I think that's how we push out this Solo versus Roman match that could happen at the Rumble, but could happen at Elimination Chamber. But also, in my mind, what really could happen, night 1 of WrestleMania, we get Roman Reigns versus Solo Sikoa. If he could beat Solo, then he takes on the final boss on night 2. I think that'd be a perfect idea, personally. But there's so many dynamics of Sami Zayn that's interesting to talk about because why should he want to team with Roman again? I know he's trying to do the right thing. He's a great guy. All he tried to do was just join the Bloodline and show his loyalty to the group, and Roman just kept pushing him away. Then he brought him in, then he pushed him away again. He had to keep testing him. Then when Sami started standing up for himself, he got turned on. Then he was fighting the cause against Roman being champion. Him and Kevin beat the Usos at WrestleMania. Like, there's so many aspects of Sami Zayn that doesn't signify why he should still be on Team Roman. So now I want to look at some of the comments you guys left on the last video. I'm sorry, it was like a week in between. Some of you guys are saying that Solo didn't break Paul's phone. And honestly, I can see that. I can agree. I mean, when he stomped on it, it wasn't really the most forceful step ever. But then why would you do it in the first place? Everything in the storyline has meaning. So why would Solo stomp on the phone if it wasn't gonna be used later as, oh, well, he broke my phone? Some kind of element of how Paul's going to try to explain himself. He's gonna use Solo stomping on his phone. I like the back and forth you guys had. Ultimate Farmer saying that Paul Heyman didn't block Roman when Solo broke his phone. This guy P. Little Mama said, breaking a phone doesn't disconnect the number. Do you know how a phone works? Farmer said, nah, screw this. You know it's a scripted show, right? In the Bloodline story, anything can happen. That's what's interesting about the storyline, because like there's so many different elements where this makes sense in the realms of kayfabe. But in real life, as wrestling's trying to present itself as real to us, this doesn't make logical sense. Sometimes we find ourselves bouncing in between kayfabe and reality of what actually happens within this wrestling world, and it sparks some cool debate. So going into this weekend at Survivor Series, who turns? Is it Sami Zayn? Is it Paul Heyman? Is it CM Punk? We got Jay versus Jacob on SmackDown, then we got WarGames, and then we'll keep on going from there. So I guess I'll talk to you guys at some point next week about the Bloodline. I'll be at WrestleCade this weekend interviewing a lot of pro wrestlers, so I might not have enough time to put out a video reacting to what happens in WarGames, but we will talk very soon about the Bloodline. Put your comments down below, put your theories down below. Let's speculate on who's turning and everything else that we talked about. My name's Malcolm, and we're out.